So we've seen a couple of asset disposals in HengTen until today. Now, this is the entire stake. How far does it go to help shore up finances?
Well, we know that this sale is probably going to raise somewhere around 270 million for Evergrande. Now, that is sufficient to take care of lots of those coupons that we know are coming due, that investors are watching very, very closely. But just to put it into proportion, Evergrande earlier had sold a stake in another unit for about 1.5 billion in September. So it's a relatively small amount compared to kind of all of the assets that are potentially available. And as you say, quite a hefty loss on this as well.
Have we now seen a bottom for China, the property sell-off that we're seeing there?
Well, I think that's what ultimately all traders, all investors are trying to establish right now. Just how bad is it going to get? And are we now kind of out of the worst? I think the rebound that we've seen so far in China high-yield junk bonds, which of course has been the focus of a lot of the sell-off, is still relatively fragile. It's quite precarious. We've seen Chinese dollar bonds there decline for the past couple of days again, and flows are fairly light. So even if we have seen the worst, it's still going to be a very, very volatile time ahead. And even when we see China sort of moving to take these steps of easing, all those measures have ultimately focused more on the onshore market, so opening up ABS, opening up interbank. And ultimately, the question remains whether or not the measures that we've seen onshore will actually be able to flow offshore and will actually be able to ease conditions there for the many developers that have imminent dollar bond maturities over January and December.